What's up, everybody out there in YouTube land? We are live. Another Retouch This. It's Wednesday afternoon. Retouch This is a show that we do. It's a podcast. I'm a professional model photographer, have been for the last 20 years. And part of my job is sitting here and having to edit photos of beautiful women. It's a really tough job. So I figured I'd have on some friends and possibly some guests and some of the models during some of the shows. And today we are joined by the absolutely lovely Crystal Taylor.
Hello.
Golf clap. And also my co-host, Captain Clint Torres, every single week. Say hello, Captain Clint.
Hello, and a big thank you to Crystal for joining us. This is very cool.
Very cool. So before we get started, guys, do me a favor. Please make sure to go and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, we drop content weekly. We do the videos for this. I drop behind the scenes model videos. Do us a favor, smash that like button. Also, what you could do is leave a comment down below for any of us, anybody you want to see on the show for next week or upcoming episodes or for our Women Crush Wednesday. And then definitely, if you can, if you guys want to check it out, you can see my side project that we have going on, which is Bikini Girl Magazine. You could go to the website, bikinigirlmagazine.com. We just released our anniversary issue, and it was our first issue that we put into print, which I would absolutely love to show you. I'd love to flip through this magazine right now, but if we do, then there's some like purple-haired behemoth at YouTube is going to just cut the stream. She's got like piercings in her face, you know, she's never been touched before. And she's going to say, oh my God, pretty women. No, no, no. And she's going to cut the stream on us. So yeah, go ahead and check that out. If you guys want to order an issue, that'd be great. You can also go over to our second channel, which is Bikini Girl Magazine on YouTube. But let's get started with our guest today, which is we are so stoked to have in studio, our virtual studio, Crystal Taylor. How's it going today?
Great. And you know, that's a great Bob Ross lookalike opener that you got. I dig it.
I love that you know that.
Yeah.
I don't think the Bob Ross estate is probably too stoked with me, you know, retouching a hot bikini model with big boobs. But hey, you know, I don't know. I just saw Bob being like, you know, drawing happy little boobs. You know, they're fun for everybody. You know, it's great. That's art.
You do it well.
Yeah, thank you. Capture the boobs well, you know. So, hey, Crystal, why don't you, for our audience members who don't or are unaware of you, tell them who you are, what you do.
My name is Crystal Taylor, and I am an aerialist and an actress, and I am on the show most likely for my role as an adult film star. I'm signed to ATM LA. Yeah, that's the gist of it for now. We'll dig deeper because there's a lot there.
There's a lot to unravel in that little package, that one little sentence. So we went from aerialist to ATM LA, agency represented, adult actress. So let's just kind of like get into that right off the bat. So how long have you been in the adult business so far?
Are you talking about mainstream porn?
Yeah. We'll do that first because you also did some dancing as well. So, like, how long have you been doing like the actual professionally produced mainstream adult content? Not so much like amateur, like OnlyFans stuff, but like sets and productions and stuff. How long have you been in the business for?
We're right about a year.
Oh wow. Okay. So was it pre-COVID that you got in?
No, it was like right at the beginning of COVID, and it was very kind of spur of the moment.
Yeah,
how it happened.
Now you have OnlyFans as well that people can check out. Like fans can go check you out. You're on board with all that stuff?
I have OnlyFans and ManyVids and Foxy and Sex Panther, but I have two OnlyFans pages. I have the free one, which is Free Crystal Taylor, and then the paid one, which is I Love Crystal Taylor.
So you heard that, guys. Make sure I just pulled up Crystal's Instagram page. This is your main one, right? This is Crystal Taylor Unfiltered on Instagram.
Yeah, all of my links are in the bio on my Instagram at hypehub.com/Crystal Taylor. Everything
Awesome.
is attached to that link.
Yeah, I would love to show those pages, but I'm imagining they're a little too spicy for the YouTube moderators. Is that
No,
correct?
I think the free OnlyFans page is fine. There's no like not at least on the homepage. You're not going to find anything explicit.
Can you give me a idea? I've been seeing this that models and internet models and adult stars are creating a free OnlyFans page and then also like a premium content page. So how come you've decided to create two different pages?
For people who don't know anything about me, who could find me on a Twitter or Snapchat or Instagram, maybe they want to get an idea of who I am before they drop the money on the subscription price. So the homepage of onlyfans.com/free Crystal Taylor is like a social media feed without any explicit content, but that is available in the DMs if they want to buy clips or full videos. If they decide that they like the content and they want to pay the subscription, then I upload a full-length video once a week on the feed with like nudes and more explicit shots, and then you can also get additional content and customs and stuff. You get customs in either place, but a lot more is going on in the DMs because I've been really good about stacking a lot of really good content. That's me.
That's you, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I have a question.
Go for it.
Did I hear you correctly, Crystal? Did you just reference something called Sex Panther? And if so, can you tell me? So the only Sex Panther I'm familiar with is a cologne from the movie Anchorman.
No,
Paul Rudd wears.
no. Sext, SEXT Panther. It's a sexting website.
Oh, okay, all right. I was not aware that existed. Thank you.
I was not aware it's a sexting website.
Yeah,
Like
it actually was one of the sites that really popped off big before OnlyFans was really even a thing. That's me.
Yeah. So what are you doing here? Let's do like an Instagram deep dive. What's going on right here?
That was me after probably like 4 or 5 hours of roller skating. And I still had extra energy left over, and so I was doing. That's called a split grip handspring. It is a pole move, and I love it. It requires a lot of strength and balance.
That's very cool. So tell us about your journey. So you said you were a professional aerialist, which means you were in the circus. Is that correct?
So I'll give you the quick recap because at this point there's a lot of interviews floating around. So I know some of these people have heard the story over and over, but for those of you who don't know, I was born and raised in New York. Right after, I guess my first year in college, I traveled cross country and I landed in Humboldt County, California, and I grew cannabis for about 15 years. And I was doing really well financially, and I had, time and money to pursue the things that I really love to do. And I wound up putting my money into going through circus training. So everything from like handstands to juggling to aerial acrobatics, partner acrobatics, contortion. And I've always been super athletic my whole life and taken really good care of my body. And I had seen, I started going to Burning Man in the very early 2000s, like 2001, 2002. And I'd seen aerialists and I'd seen some stuff that I was like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, I'm doing that. I'm going to do that. Because the thing about sports like that is that, it takes money to be able to afford the apparatus, the gym time, the private lessons. Like it's a huge undertaking, and it requires extreme levels of discipline. So, I trained, and there was a couple of different circus troupes, and I was like, man, I just hope one day that they would hire me. And I wound up working with them, and I performed internationally on and off for about 5 years, because there's certain times a year where you'll get hired for more like in the summer there's a lot of festivals, you get a lot of work then, and then like in the wintertime it's more like indoor corporate events. So I I really like lived my wildest dreams with all of my circus shenanigans, and I did everything from performing lyra to pole to aerial tissue, aerial hammock, hula hooping, fire spinning. Like I really got to do a lot of different cool things. So at some point, one of the girls in that was a performer was like telling me, I really think that you should come into the strip club with me because you're amazing on the pole. And I had never set foot into a strip club at that point, and I wasn't actually with it. Yeah, one-armed handstands. It's one of my favorite things to do.
That takes some serious strength right there. Holy cow.
Yes, sir. Especially with roller skates on your feet. Those are heavy.
Wow.
Anyways, and I've been roller skating my whole life since I was a kid, and like roller skating and ice skating, and like I love sports. Like that's my thing. It's like I'm a total jock.
Were you a gymnast? Were you a gymnast as a kid?
I was a gymnast as a kid, but I was never really great at doing like floor gymnastics. So things like back handsprings and shit like that. And it's because I'm actually tall. So it's a little bit harder to throw your weight around. And also because I like to play a bunch of different sports, I wasn't personally attracted to floor gymnastics. Like I have the flexibility and the strength in a lot of ways, but I wasn't attracted to it because of the risk of injury. So that's my trapeze that you just saw in the clip. Anyways, my girlfriend drags me into the strip club, and it was a weeknight, it's Tuesday, Wednesday night, and I made $1,500 in 5 hours. And I was like,
whoa,
dude, in order to make this was like, maybe like 2011. But it's for circus gigs, like you'll get paid $1,500 for a corporate event, but it requires like booking yourself and going to the location and rigging and it's so involved. It is so involved. And so I was like, so wait, I could just walk into a club and just make this kind of money, whatever. And, as the years went by, I got better at the game of stripping because it's really like, it's an art of seduction. And I really love people a lot. I love to interact with people. I don't want to just be watched. Like I am an exhibitionist, but I don't just want to be the center of attention. I want to interact with people. I want to light them up. And the strip club was great for me with that. And like I've never had a drink or done a drug in a strip club, so I was able to keep my priorities straight. And
you had your hustle.
And save my money. And like I spent a lot of my money while I was stripping on like, more aerial lessons, more contortion lessons, like roller skates, the shit I like to do. So it really gave me the ability to like live my dream the whole time. And I still work in the weed industry till today. Now I do product distribution, like lighting, plastic nutrients, like consultation to commercial grow facilities and retail hydroponic store locations, blah, blah, blah. Still doing it. So,
I have a question real quick. So going from the background of gymnastics, then also with the circus and the aerial, do you feel that just walking into the exotic dance stripping industry, because a lot of people don't realize like the whole pole dancing thing is actually a serious sport for a lot of those girls in the dance industry. Like they do competitions.
Right, but most of the girls doing the competitions are not actually strippers
yeah.
because it costs money to do those competitions. It's like, but the girls in strip clubs, most of them, I've met so many dancers over the years who are fierce on the pole, but when you look at how many girls are in the club, usually it's like there's maybe one or two good pole dancers in any given strip club. There are always exceptions, always. Like you'll have some clubs where it's like a requirement that you're an amazing pole dancer, but most you're not really making. So I worked at like urban clubs and like really high-end clubs. And with the high-end clubs, it's like, you're not making money on the pole. You're making money by selling champagne rooms. So in the more urban clubs, like, ones where like you'll have rappers come in, like, yeah, they want a good stage show, but like you're always going to make more when you're twerking in front of somebody's face at point blank range than you are if you're doing tricks on the ceiling and you're 20 feet away. Because when you're that far up on the ceiling, they're just going to start drinking and talking to their buddy. And I learned this over the years. It's like, you got to get people's attention and hold it. So anyway, the stripping thing ended during COVID. So I was, I had an OnlyFans at that point. I was like taking pictures, and I was out in the, up in the mountains with my camera and a tripod, and I was walking around naked with a pair of hiking boots on, and I come up on this guy in the middle of fucking nowhere, and he's got this giant golden drum kit set up, and he's like this heavy metal dude, and he's filming himself for like, I guess, his own. So I was like, it seemed like I'm either going to get murdered, this is going to be like a porn scene, or this guy's just cool. Like, we'll see. So he wound up being really, really nice human being. He was like,
I was going to say, what happened?
Oh, he's my good friend now. I love him dearly. He's wonderful. But he introduced me to, he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm on some oh shit, OnlyFans. And he was like, oh, do you do porn? I said, no. And he goes, well, I have a friend who's been doing it for like 30 years. That's the only reason I asked. And for some, I think I got curious, and I said, would you be willing to put me in touch with that person? And that person was not a performer. He's actually like a AVN award-winning director.
Oh,
He's
wow.
been doing it for 30 years. And so he was nice enough to give me a lot of his time, and I asked a lot of questions. And I think that I've always been fundamentally a performer and exhibitionist, and I proceeded into the industry with no expectations and curiosity. And I'm like, well, the world is fucked. Let's go for a ride. And that's that's where it is now. And I have to say, like, it's a pretty cool way to spend a pandemic,
Hey, I get you. I mean, this whole entire thing right here, same deal. Started the first like month or two into the pandemic, and yeah, just shit happens like that. So where go back into the story. Where is the weed industry? Let's talk about the weed industry, because I mean, you did the weed industry here in California, which was like ground zero here, Colorado, Seattle, that whole business. So what were you doing in the weed industry when you first started? Were you a trimmer, just going to all the farms? No.
Fuck no. I grew my own shit from day one.
Wow.
And I hired other people to trim it.
And then you were packaging and selling it to dispensaries and stuff like that when I was all under the...
Bro, there was no dispensaries back then. This was when the weed industry was cool. There was no fucking recreational. This was in the days where you couldn't even bring your, like, if you were to step onto somebody's property, they'd be like, leave your cell phone in the car, out of like sheer paranoia. Like, it wasn't the same industry that people are seeing now. Now it's just fucking whitewashed and corporate, and it used to be fucking heady as fuck.
So this is even pre-medicinal marijuana that you're talking about.
Oh yeah, I remember when the medicinal bullshit came in, and I was like, so let me get this straight. I got to go to a doctor now so that I can have a card that says I can grow some shit I've already been growing. Bet. All right, let's do that. So we found the crooked doctors and paid them their piddly little fee and carried them out of business.
Yeah.
It was, I highly recommend watching. If you want to get a good idea of the scenario I was living in, like the documentary Murder Mountain is very real.
I'm affiliated. I know some of the people that were interviewed in that movie I've known in San Diego for a long time. So
yeah, I mean, back then when I started it's still a very male-dominated industry, but back when I started it, like the reason you asked me if I was a trimmer is because back then it was unheard of for you to be a female grower. Mm-hmm. I mean, I knew a lot of girls, but then most of them were their boyfriend was the grower and they were just living whatever. Yeah. That wasn't my story. I was totally just a self-contained unit. And I stayed out of trouble and bullshit for the entire time that I was up there. And I have nothing but gratitude for that phase of my life, because for the people who know my story in real life, I've been told to write it in a book many times over. And it's almost like so outrageous that it's, to some people, they would be like, oh, she's making this shit up. Absolutely not. It was
well, it was pretty hardcore. If you've seen the documentary Murder Mountain, those are some pretty hardcore times up in that general vicinity up there.
Right. They were
Like-
all weird up in the mountains, but I was like more towards like Arcata, Eureka area. So like
Okay.
what stands out to me is that like every friend I knew had like a new truck. We were all going to reggae festivals all summer long, and every reggae legend that's ever just fucking, you know, did their shit was coming up there to play concerts. And, you know, there'd be in all the clubs, you know, it was the ganja smoke would be so dense in the air that it's like you could just see this haze over the crowd, and people would have big fresh branches that they cut out of their garden and just wave
Sounds
around.
like
It was
Brian's
like
apartment.
another universe. It was like another fucking universe. And I'm just glad that I got to be there for that point in history, because it'll never be like that again.
That's how Brian rolls around LA in his car. There's ganja smoke so thick and dense, branches
I
hanging
get
out.
pulled over and they see this and they're like, "Oh, he's fine.
He's fine.
Harmless. He's harmless."
He's cool. So what do you like better? Do you because I've been up to the NorCal area. I've been up to Trinidad and Fern Canyon and that whole area up there. But you're currently in Los Angeles, so I mean, having lived most of your a good portion of your life up in NorCal, now in Los Angeles, I mean, it's got to be like culture shock, like world of difference, huh?
No, I'm from New York. I was like, when I was up in NorCal,
okay.
I was like, all right, look, let me break this down. I know I'm undoubtedly going to offend some people with what I'm about to say. I don't care. So this is how it is, all right? I was born and raised in New York. I wound up in Northern California, and I was like, oh, man, all these California people, they're like fucking asleep mentally. So I just hustled my ass off, and I did everything I wanted to do, and I was good at it. And you know, if you're a mover and a shaker, like in a community like that, you could really make some shit happen. And so after a certain amount of time, I was like, all right, man, like I never made like enemies with anybody, because I never got like close enough to get fucked up with people's shit, right? So, and I was like always like doing yoga, and like I ran a marathon while I was up there. Like I was like doing that at this, using my, you know, the lifestyle that weed afforded me. I used it in the most healthy way possible. Like I was always on my roller skates. I had this little tiny dog. It was like bullshit. So, and then, you know, it got to the point where I was like, okay, so you started to see, as people figured out across America, everyone in NorCal is growing weed. You could come here and get rich, which was true. It's 100% true.
Yeah.
So now you have this influx of assholes from middle America, and I was like, oh man, this is just getting bad. And everybody was like so woke, and like I was like, I have to get the fuck out of here. So that's when I've never stopped working in the weed industry, but I went up to Portland, Oregon for 5 years, and that is where I did, you know, my circuits training. I started this training in NorCal, but I continued, and I was working in the weed industry in Portland, and then I came to LA. So Portland was cool because those people are all freaks and weirdos. It's not like the Portland that's happening now. Like this was when, like, you know, when you enter the city, keep Portland weird. I was like, oh yeah, it's a huge circus community. There's so many talented, cool people up there. It was a fucking amazing experience. And then when I came down to LA, I was like, oh, okay, these people are moving a little bit quicker, and like, you know, they're not. It's just like this whimsical bullshit California thing. Like there's a lot more people who are actually fucking, you know, somebody's home when you're talking to them in LA. So it was better for me. I prefer it because, you know, Northern California is kind of like, I'm talking about north of the Bay, you know, like north of Sonoma County. It's like small town mentality.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That you're dealing with. And it's like, you know, I'm from New York, and I, you know, spent, you know, up until 18, like in the tri-state area. You know, so I grew up around people who were highly educated and
go, hustle. Yeah.
Right. And so like the whole like sitting around smoking weed thing all day, that never sat well with me. I was like, I mean, it's cool. I love weed. I respect it. That's what it is. I fucking respect it. You know, like not enough to abuse it. So that's part of the reason why I never went up into the mountains and grew like enormous outdoor crops, because a lot of people I know who did that got robbed, disappeared. You know, you get that plant has an energy, it has a spirit, and I think that it can palpate high levels of greed and will serve that karma to the people who are abusing it. I don't care if that sounds spaced out. I know I'm right. I've seen it. my own eyes. So.
Do you feel like, because Burning Man, when Burning Man first started, I knew actually a neurosurgeon who was a neurosurgeon tech who had been going to Burning Man since the start. And him and his wife, they were like older. They were like close to 60. And they're like, no. Like, we were going to Burning Man when it was literally just doctors. And there was only a couple hundred people. And nowadays, it's this just massive like fraternity, lots of douchebags, all the celebrities, all that. Do you feel like what happened with Burning Man was the same exact thing that happened to the weed industry? Like, you started, it was this chill back.
This is just history repeating itself in every possible way. It's like, whatever any given culture is doing, they're going to mass market it and exploit it. And that's just another prime example. When I first started going to Burning Man, you could take LSD and fuck out in the open in front of everybody. I know because I did it. It was dope. And you could shoot guns and you could jerk off into the wind. And now it's like you'll wind up on a list somewhere and you have to do drugs in a tent because there's feds walking around. So my experience at Burning Man like a couple of decades ago versus like the most recent ones, it's just night and day. And like, at this point, I don't know, man. It kind of feels to me where it's like you keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Like, I don't know. Maybe I just outgrew it. I don't know. I think everyone should, or at least the Burning Man's I experience. I wish everyone could experience that at least once in their life. Because I had such magical, mystical, hippie experiences for years. It's great. I wish everyone could experience that. I don't think that this, I think it's turned into something else. And now that we're in the middle of all this bullshit, I don't see it happening again. But
it's like the great indie band. You find a band, everybody loves it, but like very, very small shows, intimate shows. All of a sudden, 5, 6, 7 years later, like, let me put it this way, like, I saw Dave Matthews.
Perfect example.
Yeah, I saw them play in
he's
Atlanta.
The shit.
I saw them play in Atlanta, Georgia for maybe 400 people in like the mid-90s. And then 5 years later, giant stadium, sold out, right?
Like Fish used to be playing fucking bangers up at UVN in the dorm rooms or in the local fucking frat house, and they were just fucking slapping the shit out of it. And then all of a sudden it just got to be this big thing, and that's what happened. So I feel like what I guess basically I'm trying to communicate to you that my weed growing experience was back in the good old days of Humboldt, and anyone who was living up there knows exactly what the fuck I'm talking about.
I remember being at UMass and UMass Amherst, and there was like 5 kids from California, right? Why would they come to Massachusetts to go to college? Anyways, this one girl, Asha, it was like it was like
right there.
It was like she had the ring from Lord of the Rings. She had like this nug. Was it Chino? Like up in Chino, right? Like that's an area too, I think. Yeah. But anyways, I mean, I'm talking like different shades of green, purple like you can't imagine. And New York or upstate New York, the Seeds and Stems crowd, the swag crowd, it was like,
because you guys were getting beasters. You were getting beasters from Canada back then.
Yeah,
like,
right. I mean, we would have paid like
fucking scentless bullshit
for like $65 an eighth.
We would have paid like $500 for her fucking purple crazy nug back then. Oh, because remember it was Kind Bud. Kind Bud on the East Coast. We got Kind Bud, and now that you live in California, all that shit's so weird. It's like everything is great here when it comes to marijuana, except the delivery. I have a question. Do you know anything about the delivery? Like 2 years ago, I know
nothing about that.
All right, because like as an actor, director, writer, like obviously I'm in and out of work, but I can't remember the name of the company. I was like, oh, I'll do that. Like it sounded good. Like John places an order, the shop that he ordered it from, I'm in their driver connection. I go get it, I drop it off, I get a fee, and I might get a tip. I was like, oh, okay, but I didn't think about the logistics and the paranoia.
It's Postmates.
Well, with a difference, you had to get like a camera that was focused on you it mounted in your car. It had to pay like $1,000 to this delivery company so they could monitor every waking moment you are when you were with their weed. Because
No, thanks, sir. There's only one type of mounting we're doing in my car, and it's not with your fucking camera. No, sir.
Yeah, it was nuts. Obviously, I did not pursue it because I was like, dude, I'm not paying you $1.
I got a question for you. So, going back to the circus, you said that you performed internationally. So I've covered like busker festivals and stuff like that. Did you do everything from like the big circuses down to like busker? They're called busker. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
my WCW that was underage was a busker. Anyway,
oh yeah, that's right. He gives me a women crush Wednesday. I was 16 years old. So I'm like, dude, we can't have a 16-year-old women crush Wednesday.
Hold on, she's an amazing singer.
Oh, she's an amazing singer. It was because of her singing. It was because of her singing, not because of bikini models or anything like that.
Right, that's girl crush.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not woman crush.
Yeah,
we're dealing with adult content.
So what? Tell us about the circus. Like, how was that?
So, like, really, what I've learned about. So, if you want to perform with Cirque du Soleil, yeah, that's like a level. That has to do with just straight talent. Like, I have some friends that perform with Cirque. It's very grueling work. They're not getting paid nearly enough, and it just takes one fucked up injury for you to be done with that. So that was never my goal. When you work in the weed community for 20 years, like, you are a veteran of this industry, and I put my time in to make the right connections. So you have to think about, like, you're in Northern California, all the people that can afford all of the expensive DJ equipment and all the hours to sit around and tinker with Ableton and everything else. These people had money, okay? The DJing was the side gig. They were all fucking growing weed, right? So when those guys book as headliners at festival, all I have to do is be like, hey, let me fucking do flips upside down when you're doing your set. And then you do that enough times, and then circus troops are gonna be like, "Oh, I see you all over the fucking place. Who you working with?" And then you can work festivals. And I had a doubles act with another girl where we were both on the aerial hoop at the same time, and we'd split and do separate aerial tissue act, same sequence, same time, opposite sides of the stage. And then it was really like a festival circuit, but so like a lot of festivals will hire circus troops to come in and do a show at like 10 o'clock at night on this stage, right? And so I did a lot of those, and I did them internationally. I performed at clubs all over the fucking place and festivals, and it's like I had it to where it's like I am not the most talented aerialist on this planet. Am I awesome? Fuck yeah. Who says? Me. And I lived my dreams with it. I got paid really well for it. So I think it has to do, it's just like fucking Hollywood. It's like, it's not about talent. It's about your connections. People like you is the deal. So they want to fucking work with you, right? So it's like, if you come in and you're like, I'm the best. And it's like, nobody wants to deal with that. Even if they do, they'll once or twice, and then they're like, So I think it just really has to do with your connections. And I think, again, like cannabis really paved the way for me to have like this fucking incredible life. It gave me the financial freedom to move into other industries when I wanted to, without fear of falling on my face.
And very like counterculture industries, if you really want to, like definitely not the norm of society. Like, no, you were kind of right. What is that? What is that? So you've traveled through all of these like counterculture, subculture industries in America, like very cool industries to be in. What is that about you? Do you think that kind of like brings you towards those areas?
I'm fundamentally recalcitrant to, authority and being told what to do. I want to do what I want to do all the time. I don't want to be coerced into doing anything I don't want to do. And so if I want to do high intensity and interval training and roller skate and aerial 4 hours a day, well, then I've shaped my life to be able to do that. So when I go to work, rather than working 40 hours a week, prostituting myself out to a corporation and then wondering why I fucking hate my existence as I'm letting my guts spill over my pants at my fucking desk, I decided, hey, we're all getting fucked, all right? I just look good when I'm doing it. So instead of fucking people for free and somehow feeling that I was superior, I was like, I want to get paid for this too. And that's what pornography is. And so I can go to set like once a week, and then the rest of the time I can do whatever the fuck I want. And it seems logical to me. I don't know why this is such a mystery to people, but
work smarter, not harder.
Yeah, and even with like weed, it's like, no way. He's been in backwards the whole time. I get a fucking 0 for on today's earbud test. I think with the weed industry, it was like I always loved cannabis. I loved growing it, and I respected it enough to not take it too far to like land myself in any problems within the community or like problems with the law, or I just never had any issues. So my whole like career in the weed industry has been really like smooth sailing. And actually I was really happy to get out of the growing aspect of it, because it's just like really, as a farmer, it's just hard physical labor, and
yeah,
I like the consulting aspect of it, because I get to take all these years of knowledge and all the little mistakes that I've learned from and show somebody who wants to set up or grow the right way how to do it, and like, avoid a lot of those mistakes. And also like, with distributing products like lighting, it's like I learned so much about the way all lighting fixtures are made, from metal halides to high pressure sodium lights, LEDs, fluorescence. Like I know a lot about the light spectrums and about how plants their A and B receptors absorb these different types of light, how it's measured in whatever. I know all the shit, and I was about to go very nerdy, and I was like, just stop, no one cares. But I find that shit really interesting, because I'm forever really hungry for knowledge and growth in every form. Like getting better at all the sports that I like to do, so physical power, but also psychological power. So the fact that I'm doing several industries at all times, I don't ever have all my eggs in one basket. So I feel like I'm able to navigate through the physical realm unafraid, because I feel like I always figure it out really well, whatever it is. And having several...
You seem driven in what you want to do, and the tasks that you're taking are not easy ones. Like, they're very physically demanding jobs. Yeah. So let's change topics right now. We do a segment in this show when we're interviewing adult film actresses called Guess the Porn Scene Backstory. And everybody always jokes about porn scripts. They always do. Everybody always laughs. They fast forward, or they're like, "Oh, the garbage man," it's like the garbage man showed up to fix the plumbing or something like that. So what we did was we're going to show some scenes. So let me run the trailer real quick for this.
It's time for America's favorite game show, Guess the Porn Scene Backstory. That's right.
Cool. So what we're going to do is... Yeah, I may have been up till like 3 a.m. one night making that thing. So.
Did a great job.
So I'm going to show a couple snippets. These aren't actual scenes. It's all safe for YouTube, everything like that. But myself and Brian, we all know that sex happens at the end of these videos. But me and Brian are going to try to guess the setups and the storyline to these things. And then you're going to tell me and Brian if we're right on the money, and we're going to keep score here. There's 4 of them in case we need to go bonus round, but we're going to try to do the best 2 out of 3. So we'll start with this one right here. And who wants? Are we? You want to Rochambeau for this, Brian, or you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay.
So you're the understudy in a play, and you're getting ready backstage just because that's what you have to do. You have to be prepared in case you have to go on. And this guy is the director. Not a play. It's a ballet. And this guy is the director. He's also a male ballet guy himself. And he's coming up to you and he's saying, "Now listen, everybody knows that, you know, you really don't want to be the understudy. You want to be the lead. And you're like, well, yeah, but that's really hard because they already have a lead. And he says something like, what's really hard? And you're like, being the lead. And he's like, well, maybe I can help you. And then it goes from there, and you guys have sex.
Okay, so I've got one. Mine is that she is a celebrity, and she's getting ready to go to an award show. And this is like her personal stylist.
Damn,
and he's actually gay. So he's gay, but there's for some reason he is just finding himself so attracted to her. And they start talking, and it's like, well, you know, I've been having some feelings lately, and I've been questioning my gayhood. And she's like, really? And she's doing her makeup, and she's like, what are you thinking about? And he's like, well, I'm kind of thinking about you, and maybe switching sides and switching teams.
That's pretty good.
And and suddenly she's like, oh, sure, I'll take your hetero virginity. So
his man bun was throwing me off. I got to be honest.
The man bun. That's why I'm going with gay. So
yeah, I like it.
So okay, that's our scripts. How did we do, Crystal?
Okay.
Terrible.
I have a lot of thoughts on this. We'll start with the recent, work backwards. John, you said that you think that, you know, I was playing a celebrity. They're not going to cast an ugly porn star as a celebrity. So I feel like really what you're saying is that you think I'm really pretty, and I appreciate that. But you were way the fuck off. And both of you, it's kind of like, tell me that you don't watch porn without telling me that you don't really watch porn, because these ideas are so far-fetched. I mean, this stuff is so simplistic in nature. And Captain Clit, I applaud your efforts.
Thank you.
Actually, I was just this, his name's Sean. I was Sean's hot wife. And he had arranged for his friend, Tommy Gunn, to limp over the house on the third leg that is his giant penis and bang me. So that
I'm familiar with Mr. Gunn's work.
Yeah, man.
Good stuff. Man. Okay.
So who was, if you had a judge, who was the closest on that one?
I think we're equally both way off.
Yeah.
I'm just going to have to award you the gold star because there was like this kind of, you know, concealed compliment in there, and that strokes my ego. And so I feel like...
okay. See, flattery works in these...
Oh, okay, it will get you everywhere. I don't even care if you need it or not. Just tell me I'm the prettiest all the time.
Taking notes for the rest of the game right there. So let's get to the second clip, which is right here. Now, I'll go first on this one. So I'm going to say that you've been having a lot of stress in your life, and your girlfriend told you about a Reiki healer. And the Reiki healer comes over, and he tells you that the only way that he can heal you is you first need to put on sexy lingerie, because you have to be in sexy lingerie when he does the Reiki healing. So, and then he starts kind of feeling your body and feeling the energy where there's a lot of tension and stress. And it starts to center. He starts on your face there, and then it just slowly moves down to your body. And he says, well, down in this region, there's a lot of tension and stress, and I've got the healing for that.
Okay.
Right?
So based on some information we learned about Crystal when she got into this, and obviously things around Hollywood, adults or not, we're definitely shooting, I'm going to go with Crystal had a little tickle in her throat, and she thought she might be getting sick, maybe even COVID. But the doctor's office was closed, and the doctor was only taking house calls. So she comes over, and the doctor's like, okay, but I can't have you put on a medical gown. I don't have it. So you should probably just get, into your underwear for the exam. And she's like, okay. And he's like, now tell me what's going on. And she says, well, again, it's like, there's like a tickle in my throat. Like it's kind of like a dry throat too. He's like, very interesting. You're in luck. I think I have some medication, but you'll need to get on your knees. And from there we go into oral sex, oral, bang, bang, blah, blah, blah.
So
I feel like I just feel like if you guys are ever like short on your rent, that maybe you should start script writing. Like, I feel like because this is you're pretty close. Okay, so doctor giving me vitamin D or it was actually none of that. It was literally just I shot with Tony Rebus and he was like in his accent, like, I'm going to fuck you and you're going to squirt. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And the camera turned on and that's exactly, there was no plot line. It was just like, I was there to squirt and that is what I did. All over the couch. And
solid. All right.
Yeah, if only it could be that easy in real life. I'm going to use that.
It is sometimes.
Sometimes.
I mean, it's that when it comes to the squirting, it's never easy for me because every time I do it, it's hours worth of laundry.
Yeah.
It's fucking very annoying. I have a waterproof mattress cover now. Oh.
So you're saying your dry cleaners love you. They're like, hey, Crystal, we love you. Hey, what you bring us dry cleaning? All right.
No, I do it myself. I wish that I had just dry cleaners.
So who is God? So we were both way off on that. So
yeah, the story line was I got fucked.
Yeah,
that was the entire plot. Or maybe it was I got fucked again.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
There was a side of me that thought you screwed up breakfast.
Well, actually, I knew what was going on that day, so I totally did not eat breakfast.
No, I mean in the scene. Like you screwed up your husband's breakfast. Anyways, moving on.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I see why you went with the like the Reiki healing because I was having a spiritual experience. Look at my face. I'm so serene.
Yeah. Oh, you were so at peace right there.
It's like sometimes life just feels so hectic, and then it's just like once the dick goes in me, it's like I forget all of it. It's magical.
So here's our third one. So, Brian, you want to take this one or yeah?
Oh man, all right. So yeah, I'll go. Wow. All right. Dude. Wait a minute. If you're ready to go. I'm a little confused off the start.
Okay. I'm always confused. Somebody help me.
Okay, so I'm seeing the backpack. So yeah. I'm saying this has to be something with school, and I'm saying that you're the teacher, and you start talking with her, and you're telling her that back in the day they used to do air raid drills. And everybody would have to get and hide underneath their desks.
Man.
And the girl's like, no way, really? And she's like, yeah, let me show you. Let me show you. We'll get on the floor together. And you're like the teacher and you're just into her. Like you held her after class because you just you're just finding some way you want to get with her. And this is a community college too. This isn't a high school. So she's old enough. She's already in college. But she's down on the ground and she's just like, wow. It's so scary down here. Really? There's bombs that would be going off? You're like, yeah, it was scary for all our grandparents. But you know what? Like, I'm here to hold you and I'll be here with you. And she's like, oh my God, that's so nice. I love that. And you're like, yeah, sweetie, we're here on the floor together. And then it just kind of goes from there.
Yeah, just right here on the floor together.
Yeah.
All right, I think mine's going to be kind of short and sweet. Wait, I just had something and I just lost it. Oh no, yeah. You're in a women's detention center, and
rethink this, sir.
Rethink it.
Yes. Look at what we're wearing.
Well, no, not like a jail. Like, hold on. Here's where I'm going to get to the gist. I can't think of like.
Are you talking like a FEMA camp or like what kind of women's?
Rehab, women's rehab.
Oh, okay. Fair Fair enough.
And you were
And she's got a big book in the backpack.
No, close. It's big, but it's not a book. And you were just taking a nap on the floor for whatever reason. And she gets down there and pats you on the head. And you rolled over and you go, "Did you bring the dildos?" And she goes, "Yup."
And that's it.
And that's it.
Good. Wow. You're both exceptionally close. So here was the scenario. I was a professor, and it was after hours, and I just was tired of reading papers, and so I just quickly was like, let me just turn on some adult time and rub one out to this lesbian porn. And in the process of standing up to unbutton my pants, I clumsily dropped my dildo under the desk, and when I crawled under there to get it, my foot got stuck. And what do you know? One of my students comes into the classroom and starts laughing and pulls out her cell phone and blackmails me.
Man, that's good. I like it. A dildo was involved. I think I get that.
I think you got that one. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, he won.
Because I just keep one in my purse from when I go to teach my students.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Well, most of those people wind up on a list somewhere, but next.
Well, I think you got 2 out of 3 then, Brian. So, well, and I might have to recuse myself from the next one from what I saw from the first picture in the intro. But pull it up. Let me see.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
let me just say this. I definitely have not necessarily seen your scene. I'm 100% sure I'm familiar with this series, if that makes sense. So I don't know if
background?
Yeah, and the dude. But go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I'm on the spot. Wow. Okay. So I'm going to say that you went in for a driving exam and you're at the DMV and you've got major issues with your license, and the woman at the front was being like a total bitch to you, but she was hot, right? And you're just like, I'm gonna get this girl. And you see the guy, and she's the manager. You ask for the manager, and he's hot too. And you're just like, dude, I know I'm not getting my license, but I'm gonna get my rocks off today. So you go into the office, and you convince the office manager that he needs to bring the girl in the front who was being a bitch back into the office with you. And no matter what, you're going to tell them that you are leaving that office with a license and your record expunged. And there's going to be a lot of other expunging going on. So,
man, I feel like you guys could really like write some good porns. Like these are good plot lines, but so in this scene.
Hold on, I'm gonna say it real quick too. Yeah, you're either at a pawn shop and something would happen, or you definitely shoplifted. I think the clipboard is what's throwing John off. This is a security breach, and you will be frisked and fucked.
Oh, wow. Okay.
No.
The captain prevails. I got caught shoplifting. The store manager is telling me that he's going to call the police, but he can't do that because I have a career. I can't go to jail. And so he was like, well, then you're going to have to take it. And I was like, ew, gross.
But very thoughtful on his part about your career.
That was nice of him.
Yeah,
it was pretty nice of him. He was really nice. Yeah. Well, that is it. It's this week's winner, man, is Captain Clint Torres, and that is the last part of.
It's time for America's favorite game show. Guess the porn scene backstory. That's right.
I love the very end of your voiceover. You're like, that's right. Hey, John, do you think should I give the semi-pop culture quiz a shot? I think I might have. I just have one question for Crystal. The only thing I haven't heard much from you, are you a music fan? Like a lot of different music. Okay, I think I could pull off something here, John, but you let me know. Or if Crystal
go ahead and ask her some music questions, and then we'll do Women Crush Wednesday, and then I know she's going to go.
I'll be quick. These will be brief. Crystal, these are just kind of rapid fire. You don't have to overthink anything. Prince or Michael Jackson, better performer?
Oh, we're trying to get me fans. We're not trying to cause wars, so I'm just going to decline that question right off the bat. These are the kind of things that people kill each other over, all right? So we're gonna ask me benign questions. They're gonna make people love me.
Better fruit, strawberry or pineapple?
Watermelon. It's just so juicy.
Incorrect. Strawberry is the correct answer.
Oh, okay.
Pineapple makes your cum taste better.
You try your own cum?
After I ate a shit ton of pineapple, yeah.
I don't understand people that don't want to taste their own cum. It's very strange to me.
You gotta know what you're putting out there in the world, right?
Well, like think about it. So if a woman was like, I don't like the taste of my own cum, then it's like, okay, so if I'm sucking a dude's dick and then he fucks me and then he wants me to suck his dick again, like if I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't like the taste. What the fuck are you talking about? So if let's say a guy comes in my mouth and then he refuses to kiss me, I have to get out of my house. That's how I feel about that. What the fuck are you talking about? It's ridiculous. We're animals here. Stop trying to act civilized. I like assholes on the regular, right?
Yeah.
One more quick one. Indica or sativa?
Ooh, that's a good
You know,
one.
as I've gotten older, I think my body chemistry tolerates indicas like at night because I do gymnastics all the time, so I'm not really smoking during the day because it's super dangerous to be doing a lot of the shit that I do while you're high. So I generally will smoke before bed, and I think that my body just likes a good knockout weed.
We'll absolutely accept that. Either answer was going to be correct. The only wrong answer was going to be hybrid. I'm so sick of the hybrid bullshit.
Well, to be honest with
you,
yeah, but all weed is hybrid at this point because you're looking at so many years of crossbreeding genetics, and to find a pure anything is like, what are you talking about? It's all hybrid.
She's nerding out.
Sorry. Let me shut up. Of course, you're right.
What is the best bikini color, a solid color of all bikini colors?
Anal.
Yes.
Yes.
This is going way better than I expected. I should have, man. See, sometimes I don't have access to the girls and the personality, but this is good. You're actually throwing. Okay, so rollerblading or roller skating? I think we both know.
Ooh, okay. Look, so I do both. Been doing both my whole life. I feel like there's something about roller skates and getting fucked in them that just makes me feel so hot. But rollerblades allow me to do very similar things to what I do on ice skates because of the shape. So they there's certain tricks that I can do on a set of rollerblades that are just way easier, that are not really possible because of the way that the quad wheels. So it's not really better or worse. It's like, which flavor ice cream? And the answer to that is anal.
As it always is.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Crystal Taylor, that's 100%. Very good. Very good.
Did I win?
You did.
Yeah. You did great.
You know what you won? Anal.
Anal.
Oh my God! Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
I thought you were gonna say I get to be the little spoon or something.
No, but it's your choice. It's your choice. You can get anal, or you can give me your John anal with your huge dildo from your scene. So
no, I definitely. I've actually never pegged a dude.
Good. That's weird.
Good.
Yeah, it's not really. It's not.
No.
It's not because I have anything against it. It just never. I never looked at a man and was like, "Yeah, I want to fuck his asshole." Like I just never. Like it was never an organic thought in my head.
Me neither. Me neither.
Yeah, me neither. We're all in agreement right there. We're all in agreement.
I'm more like a cat that like walks across the keyboard and is like, "Look at it. Look at my asshole. It's so pretty."
I love cats. I love.
But I'm really a dog person.
You don't want to start the culture war. You said you can't, you don't want to pick one or the other. Be careful.
I love them both, but I really love dogs a lot.
Brian's a cat person. I'm a dog person.
I feel like if I feed you, if I'm feeding you, then when I walk in the door, you better be fucking wagging your tail and flipping out.
I'm technically mostly a dragon person, but dragons are hard to find.
Yeah. There's not too many Komodos available in Los Angeles. Hey, so real quick, let's do the Women Crush Wednesday for the week.
Okay.
And Crystal's going to join us this week. She's got her pick ready to go.
I'll dig mine this week.
Yeah, I dig them all. Actually, I'm the one who I got to see everybody, so it was great. So I'm going to run the commercial right now for it. Hold on. Okay, we are back, and this is our segment called Women Crush Wednesday. And basically what it is each of us on the panel picks just a girl that we think is just killing it this week. We got a super crush on, we want to fuck, we want to hook up with, we just want to support them. I'll go first this week. The girl that I picked was the real Allie Lee. And I just kind of came across her on Instagram. And I just was a sucker for the dark hair, the fit body. Looks like she's diehard into fitness, which was pretty cool. I liked her photos a lot. She's out there, 100,000 followers. So she's still gaining. She's still getting up there, but
we don't know if Instagram just deleted her recently. You know what I mean? She probably had 1 million 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Oh, yeah. She could have had 5 million. Holy shit. Yeah. And she's just done. But so she's pretty safe and tame with her Instagram page. But then I did see that she has an OnlyFans page as well. So she's down with the nude stuff. So I thought that was kind of cool. Fitness instructor, model, and OnlyFans girl. And I like the photos a lot. So Allie Lee is mine.
I think we all kind of mind melted a similar theme of the super fit. Like from our guests to our WCWs, like everyone seems super athletic and fit. Like, well, tell me what you think when you see mine, I guess. Okay. But I dig yours. Yeah, nicely done. I like the red bikini.
So Brian's this week is take it over, Brian.
Oh, Della Venova? Wait, that's not mine.
Jenadine Havanaga?
Yeah, but she's all like bikinis and like workout photos.
Oh, no? Yeah. No, I have it. It's right here.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Totally. I just pull up her Instagram page first.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This is her Insta page. You were just checking her out half naked.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know Instagram. Come on, man.
I know you don't.
It's like I got rid of that with Vine. But no, I dig the abs. Like I'm always a sucker for the thighs and the abs. Definitely seems super fit. Seems like she'd like to do some surfing, some sports or whatever, swimming. Yeah, all the way around. Like I liked everything I saw. So. And so, quick backstory. Yeah, I just a quick shout out. We don't have to look at it. I like singers sometimes, but Allie Sherlock is a busker, and she has just a ridiculous voice. But then John sent me back. He's like, "Hey, dude, that chick's like 16," and I was just only listening to her music, so I didn't do any digging on anything. So he's like, "You need another one." So I'm not saying this girl was second place, but. I did have to kind of scramble, and I found her, and I dig it.
Very cool. All right, let's go to Crystal. Crystal's pick this week is who?
So I picked Judy Jolie because I actually just shot with her yesterday. So I'm just gonna say, I've shot with a good number of females in the industry, and Judy is beautiful, but she's also incredibly kind. And when you're working on set with her, she has this very gracious way about making sure that the camera is catching. She's trying to make the other girl that she's working with look good also. So she's not just concerned about herself. So I saw that kind of like, and she's been in the industry for longer than I have. I think she's like on 6 years now. But I see her directing at some point because she's really good she has a knack for the directing, but the way that she deals with people, that's the skill. You know, being able to tell another woman what to do on a set without coming across like a total bitch is a fucking skill, and she's a total sweetheart. So that's why I picked her this week, because I really had such an amazing experience with her yesterday, and that's the second time I've shot with her, and both times were like that, so it's really genuine. And I'm a good bullshit detector, and she's real. She's the real deal.
Nice.
Are we going to be able to see that scene somewhere? Is that?
I'm gonna, as soon as it's edited, I'm going to drop photos from it on my Instagram and on my Twitter, and you can get it on my OnlyFans.
Oh, awesome! So it's your own content, like you filmed
Yeah,
it
well,
for.
we both will own it, so you could get it on her OnlyFans and mine. So
Oh, perfect. Okay.
yeah.
So that's great. Well, guys, so these are the three choices this week. We've got Allie Lee, the real Allie Lee, and then we've got Jenna Dean, that's Brian's, and then we've got Judy Jolie, and that's Crystal's. And go ahead in the comments below, guys, and make sure to leave who your favorite Women Crush Wednesday for the week was. And also like the video if you could do that for us too. That's great. I think Brian and I's favorite Women Crush Wednesday of this week was this hot babe right here, Crystal Rhea. Yeah.
Hey, by the way, Crystal, are you wearing? I'm hoping the answer is yes. There's a piece of wardrobe you've got on. Is that like a holster?
What are you looking at?
Like the pink strap. Is that a holster?
What are you wearing? He wants to see what you're wearing.
Are you wearing a holster?
Are you wearing? She's wearing suspenders.
No, I'm wearing like shorts and like suspenders. Oh, there we go.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like a gun holster. I was like, this is kind of.
Well, no, I just have a like I'm not housebroken, and so if I don't like wear the suspenders, it might be difficult for me to keep the pants on for the whole hour. And since this is going on YouTube, I was like, I need to really strap in because I'm just might get out of control and just you know,
spontaneously masturbate on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm just trying to reel it in. You know,
just
be an adult.
I did that one time. They did not like it. So
no, I got all kinds of strikes and copyright claims against that. So apparently,
don't spontaneously masturbate on YouTube, kids.
No. Oh wow, look at this one with the boa constrictor. Holy cow!
Whoa! Dude.
Yeah, I just love big snakes.
Whoa.
Including the Alabama black snake, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Crystal, tell everybody where they can find you, what you got going on, and we'll let you get out of here. We super appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on. So I have 2 Instagram accounts. The main one is Crystal Taylor Unfiltered. Crystal is spelled with a C. My backup account is Hot Tub Bitch.
Hot Tub Bitch.
My Twitter account is Crystal Taylor XO. My OnlyFans, the free page is onlyfans.com/free Crystal Taylor. And my VIP OnlyFans, where all the crazy stuff goes down, is I Love Crystal Taylor. So onlyfans.com/I Love Crystal Taylor. All the links to my Sex Panther and Foxy, those links are on my HiPub link, which is in my Twitter and Instagram bio. I'm also on Snapchat as Love Crystal T, but you can see that. Just click the link in the bio. Easy.
What about Vine? Don't forget Vine.
I'm almost 40, bro. I'm already doing enough. When do I get a nap? Is it nap time now?
I know that's a massive social media presence.
Look her up on Friendster. Look her up on Friendster, everybody. I say that jokingly, Crystal. The reason being, I'm not on Facebook, Instagram. I'm not on anything. I've never even really used an app. So like,
I only got on social media a year ago.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
You know.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was able to form my full consciousness and personality prior to being persuaded by whatever trend is going on the internet. It's been an amazing journey. So
crazy.
I come to you relatively untainted.
Wow, you might get arrested. Be careful.
Yeah, I know. The woke police might come after you because they can't watch everything you say and think online. So
the best way to get rid of people who think that they're really woke is to just show them Uranus. They'll get offended and they'll leave. I know this. I've done it a bunch of times.
The butthole talk on this episode has been fantastic. Like,
I have a serious obsession with my asshole. I've been doing coffee enemas like every day of my life for probably like close to 20 years now.
Nice. I'm gonna look.
It's really weird.
I'm gonna Google that. I'm gonna Google that after the show.
I had no idea what that is, but yeah, I'll check. I'll probably end up checking it out.
I don't drink coffee. I only put it up my butt and I let it sit there for a good hour, and then I let it out, and it feels like euphoric, and then I feel really light because I'm the only one who's not full of shit at that point. It's amazing.
Well played. Well played.
Very cool.
Peppermint in it is nice.
Oh, a little peppermint.
I'm dead serious. I'm not even just trying to make you laugh. I'm 100% serious.
Hey, you're thinking about it. You're having that peppermint flavor for the next person that's down there. You know, it's like, oh, is that spearmint? No, it's peppermint.
Everyone ever has just been like, wow. I'm like, I know.
I know.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
That would be such a great like SNL YouTube skit. We should film that. We should make it a YouTube skit about that. Coffee enemas, peppermint flavor. We'll come up with a product name and we'll build like a little thing. We'll do like a funny little video about that next time I'm up in LA.
We're off to a good start. It might be hard for you to get rid of me at some point, but you won't regret it. It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
No, I was telling Brian, I was like, yeah, she's like a girl from back home. It's like I'm back in Jersey. It's great. So works for me. So
I'm like a really adorable asshole.
Aren't all you New Yorkers?
No. Some of them are just assholes and there's nothing adorable about them.
That's great. Well, guys, make sure go follow Crystal on her Instagram. Go check out her content. We're going to move on and get started with our review of Army of the Dead, which you're more than welcome to stay for if you feel like you want to hang out and just hear us talk about Army of the Dead and bullshit. If you got to go, you got to go. You know, it's up to you. It's a tough call, huh? You're like, these guys are kind of fun.
You are, but you know what else is fun? My dinner. Actually, you know what? Can I unplug my audio and then you turn my camera off so I can just listen to you guys, so I don't have to sign completely out. But you don't want to hear me clacking things around.
No, you can. I can cut your audio. Yeah, I can cut your audio. You could turn your camera off. Yeah,
and then I can just listen to you guys. Perfect.
Yeah. Let me do that right now. Thanks so much for joining us. And
yes, thank you.
Really appreciate it. We'd love to have you back in the future. So definitely.
Very fun. Very fun. Thank you.
Thank you guys. You're great.
No problem. So let's see here. Thank you so much. And then just go ahead and cut your video feed. And then you still should be in there. There you go. So Brian.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's get to some. That was fun.
That was good. Yeah. So do you mind if I jump right in?
Yeah, I'm going to pull up the banner real quick for Army of the Dead. This is our Army of the Dead review, guys. Before we get started, please make sure to like, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. Let us what you know think about Army of the Dead by Zack Snyder, and take it away, Brian.
Okay, so a little bit about me and horror genre, zombie genre, what have you. Not the biggest fan. Sometimes downright dislike. Zombie movies have been the bane of my existence. Don't get me wrong, this is going to get positive. Have been the bane of my existence for a while, mainly because I don't think that, like, literally, like, people, like the swarms, the masses, whatever you want to call them, these movies are making fun of you. Like, these thousands and thousands and thousands of people who love them. It's like, dude, like if you're on Twitter daily, like, you launch tweets hourly, like, you're a zombie. Like, that's what these fucking genres were created to make fun of. You don't even know it, you love it. So anyways, that's interesting. So, but in my time, World War Z, phenomenal zombie flick, right? Like, it's a newer one. So then and I could go through other zombie movies. There are some cool zombie movies, so don't be like
28 Days Later.
Very cool. And the way they shot that, very cool. And I believe that's Danny Boyle too, right?
Yeah, and that was actually one of the first films ever made with all digital cameras.
Yes.
Instead of going with the cinematic camera and paying for that, he brought on 27 different digital cameras to film that with.
And at the time when Danny Boyle did that had to be very hard for Danny Boyle, right? Because he was from film moving into digital. So yeah, bravo to him there. And and hold that, because that's something that I really want to talk about. So, and then Zack Snyder for me. So I saw Dawn of the Dead. Somebody gave me the DVD like 2005, 6 or 7. And I watched it mainly because Ving Rhames was in it. Sarah Polley was coming off like Go, and that's all good. And I want to say, as far as that movie goes, I did not like it at all. But the best performance in that film to me, Ty Burrell, aka Phil Dunphy from Modern Family, he's in it. He doesn't have tons of lines, but his lines and his scenes, to this day, I don't know why. Whenever I think of him, even before Modern Family, I think of like for whatever reason, like his like just stand out. Like I always thought like, dude, why is that actor does not seem like he should be in that movie? Meaning, like I thought he was meant for much bigger things. So I thought that was very cool. I did not know it was Zack Snyder at the time. I did not know who Zack Snyder really was at the time. Sucker Punch was kind of my first introduction to Zack Snyder. Visually remarkable. And they also went through, it's like, you know, the girls they chose for that, God, I'm blanking on, I don't know even why, like, God, I know their names. One, it's the blonde girl. She's like a Brit. Then there's an Asian girl that was a real world girl, and she was in the Hangovers. I apologize. Like I don't know why I can't. But anyways, so Sucker Punch was okay as a story, amazing to watch visually, I thought. So then I kind of like didn't really follow Zack Snyder that much, and then obviously he did the Superman stuff and all that. So anyways, so Army of the Fucking Dead. Again, it was okay. Like as far as like the actual like story, whatever. Yeah, it was okay. Definitely the alpha like zombies, very cool idea, right?
Yeah.
Like kind of that the levels of them, very cool. Cast, very cool. Dave Bautista. I'm an old school WWE guy, not WWF. Him and Brock Lesnar could have had like a trilogy of WrestleManias, but for whatever reason, like, and Bautista was big, but I don't know how he didn't pop more in WWE. I'm very glad for him because he's very cool as Drax, which everyone knows him as, but he was also very cool in the Blade Runner, right? The very cool as that. He's talented. Like that guy's a cool actor.
Yeah, a little bit more fine tuning, and he's there.
Yeah, and I almost feel like though, this might sound weird. I almost feel like he's a little bit more of an archer, so to speak, as far as an actor than The Rock. Like I think Batista might have places he can go. The Rock might not be able to go because he's the fucking Rock. But so yeah, I like the cast a lot. I fucking loved what Snyder was trying to do with the filmmaking. I've heard a few people bitching about like why was stuff like out of focus? Okay,
shallow depth of field. And he's trying to do it clearly on digital. It's a lot harder. It's not like the way film was, and you're shooting an action movie, blah, blah, blah. I loved that by far is my favorite part. The aesthetics of the film and what I was visually seeing, not the swarms of zombies, but yeah, the racking in or not racking in sometimes, racking in and out of focus. I dug it. I think Zach might have maybe actually been a little arrogant is not the word, but riding high. Like I can try some shit here with where his stock. I feel like Zack Snyder's stock is pretty high right now. Like people are willing to watch, right? Okay, so and I'm glad he did it. He's got carte blanche to do whatever he wants to do at this point with all his successes. He's approaching that status of a Stanley Kubrick, where it's like, if I want to make a movie, it's going to take me as long as I need to take it and as much money as I need to take it. He's getting to that point. Yeah,
and he's doing things visually because we all know now with the amount of like 50 years ago, you obviously couldn't make a movie like this, not even close. You wouldn't even. It just you just couldn't. But anyways, very cool. And then so and I'm gonna let you jump in now too. We can talk more storyline or that. I don't know how many like spoiler stuff we want to do, but I do want to just touch on Chambers. So right off the bat, is it me or do you remember Vasquez from Alien?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. The badass Marine girl.
So I'm not saying I don't know if it's on purpose, but I mean, visually speaking, like for a second, like I took a double take. I was like, wait, the first thing that popped in my head was like, it's fucking Vasquez. If it is like a nod to Vasquez, I kind of dig that too.
So there has been comparisons online in a couple of the reviews saying that Zack Snyder heavily pulled from Aliens, the movie, in terms of plots and storylines and stuff.
So more than just Vasquez.
Yeah, more than just Vasquez. So let's do I'm going to do a quick little recap of the movie for people out there, and then I'll give my thoughts on it. So we start off the movie, and there's going to be spoilers, people. We start off the movie with a Zack Snyder classic intro, which means that the intro of the movie is about 15 minutes long, and it's a multiple song intro montage That's so you see the backstory.
Watchmen.
So you see the backstory. Basically, what happens is that Army personnel is transporting cargo. They don't know what's in the cargo. And then at the same time, a bride and groom are leaving Las Vegas, and he's all stoked, and she starts giving him some roadhead in the car. So he's getting a blowjob in the car. Of course, what happens when you're getting blowjob in the car, you start to close your eyes, and they drive head-on collision into the Army transport truck. The cargo goes flying. The case is compromised. They call it in, and it turns out Alpha, the character of Alpha, the zombie, is that he's been contained in this this box, and now it's broken open. He attacks the soldiers. The soldiers go and then start attacking, and they're outside Vegas. Skip forward. They go through the whole music montage of the zombies taking over Las Vegas, and then we see everybody kind of evacuating Vegas, and then finally the military cordoning off Vegas with cargo containers. And then that's where we're introduced to a lot of Dave Bautista's team as they're rescuing people and getting them out of Vegas before the zombie hordes just completely shut down the place. So then we skip forward, and Dave Bautista's like flipping burgers. There's a lot of internment camps. They're like refugee camps. All these people who have been displaced, millions of people. And basically he's approached, since he's just this badass fighter, by, it looks like a mob boss named Tanaka, who's also a casino owner. And Tanaka wants him to go into the casino. And this is where we start getting our Ocean's 11 movie style heist movie, the classic heist movie. I'm putting a team together. I need you to go into this dangerous situation and run and secure $250 million for me. Bautista's like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. He starts putting the team together. We start to get the stories of all the different people that he's pulling in. Interesting note, the chopper pilot that they had in this whole thing, the really sassy, like the quick-witted chopper pilot, they filmed her after the movie was done. That was initially supposed to be a guy named Chris Delio, and I guess he got Me Too'd. And what they did was they cut out his scenes, and then they filmed the new female chopper pilot with green screen. So all her stuff was filmed after the fact, and they just superimposed her.
And I mean, you keep going. First of all, dude, I've never fucking understood this Chris D'Elia, whatever the fuck. He's apparently a stand-up comic. He's not funny. I've only seen I found like one or two clips online over the last few years. I do not get this at all. And then he ended up on that show, Whitney, which was a train wreck in its own right. Like two terrible stand-up comedians. I have no problem with Whitney Cummings. She's super personable. I think she could be like better as a comedic actress. She's not funny again, but for some reason, how both of those people ever ended up getting to do like big, kind of semi-big comedy fucking shows. Why is it that so many fucking quote unquote comedians that do stand-up aren't fucking funny? But anyway, and I guess Tig Notaro or whatever, I don't know how to say her name.
Yeah, Tig Notaro. Yeah, she's a chopper pilot. Yeah.
And I hear her stand-up might actually be funny. But yeah, I thought that was very interesting also. And it was seamless for the most part. If I didn't, I kind of saw those stories going in. If I didn't know it, I don't think I would have necessarily picked up on it. But okay.
I didn't pick up on it. I thought she was in the movie. And because the majority of the movie was a shallow depth of field focus anyways, it worked, all her scenes like that. So basically, as things go on, they need to get smuggled into Vegas because they're, the military's got to cordon it off. We're introduced to this Coyote character who's this badass female that smuggles people inside and out of Vegas so that people could go in there and rob, basically. And she had smuggled in a mom who was looking to go steal money so that she would have money for her kids. She ends up ditching those people in there. They're left there. Dave Bautista's daughter is like best friends with this woman, takes care of her kids. So then Dave Bautista's daughter gets pulled into this thing, which you just know, like, it's like, okay, she's going to fuck this whole mission up. Like, it's just, she's not trained. She's not, she's just, there's no reason to bring the daughter in with this, but she's just insistent that she needs to go in there with Dave Bautista, the dad.
She's the Pesci.
Yeah. It's just
from those Mel Gibson movies. Like, he wants to go in with a gun. It's like, dude.
Yeah. The Joe Pesci that has no business going on these missions, but it's for plot armor and just furthering the storyline. So they go into Vegas. We discover that this isn't just a horde of zombies, that this is like, there's actually living conscious zombies that are running now all these like shambles or like these drag kind of zombies. The hordes are the hordes, but then there's a whole army of zombies that have been turned from this alpha, and they're conscious. And we find out that there's a zombie queen, and they have to make a sacrifice. So they bring in this real shithead from the internment camp who was like raping women and stuff like that. So they bring him in there, they shoot him in the leg, they leave him for dead. They offer him up to the zombies. Then the zombies drag this shithead out to one of the casinos, where we find out it's alluded to that the zombie queen is pregnant with like a zombie baby. And it's like, how the hell did this go on? So the whole time that storyline is dropping hints. And Dave Bautista and his squad go to the casino. They break in. They have to go through all the rigmarole of getting into the safe. And it just basically turns into an action flick after that. Of course, things go wrong. I don't want to spoil the ending. There's no need. But now my thoughts are, that's kind of the plot line. So it's basically like Ocean's 11 meets a zombie movie meets Aliens, the movie.
I get the other ones. I'm not sure I totally get, unless we're just going with the fact that, obviously in Aliens, like Ripley and the crew, Vasquez and, all those dudes, because they were outnumbered. I don't know if I see the Aliens thing, the Chambers thing being Vasquez, the red bandana on a kind of a sexy but semi bull-dyke-ish, potentially looking like character. And obviously you put then a heavy duty gun in their hands. But yeah, I'm not sure on the other part, but this is the one thing that still stands out to me. Okay, so I get it. It was like Las Vegas was the quarantine part of the world right now.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't, first of all, I don't think they had enough. I don't think they could have gotten 250 million cash out of there.
No,
like, I don't know what kind of bills they had, but I mean, like, that's a lot. So that was one thing that was kind of throwing me off. And then the second thing was, I still don't fucking get why money was really going to help anybody at that point. Because my anticipation is,
it wasn't about the money.
Right.
It wasn't about the money. The whole reason Tanaka was using the money to get these people to go in there so that his corporate asset that went with him, the guy who plays in the Fear of the Walking Dead, could steal all right. Tanaka. That was the big heist. It wasn't heisting the money. That's why they chopped off the head of the queen zombie, because Tanaka was going to sell her body part to the U.S. military so that they could then develop an army of the dead themselves and become billionaires.
Hence
because
the Paul Reiser character.
Exactly. Yeah, the Paul Reiser, just like in Alien. In Aliens, the Watani Corporation was sending Ripley and all the Marines to go in there and they thought they were going in there to help the hostages, when in essence, they were just cannon fodder. And Burke was trying to get the alien out of there to weaponize it as a bioweapon. It's the same exact storyline that they did with this. So Tanaka just was sending these people in there as cannon fodder. They thought they were going to get money. It could have been people. And actually it was people, because the girl was going in there to rescue people who had been kidnapped. And so it was just kind of similar. I mean, it's a Netflix movie. It was
step up. That's a step up too, in my opinion, because I do not like those a lot. The Netflix movies. So I thought, moving in the right direction.
There was a lot going on in this movie, man. I mean, special effects, action, stunts. I mean, this was a serious production. This wasn't a low budget Netflix movie. I forgot what it says here. Well, let's look. So out of 75,000 people on IMDb scored it a 6 out of 10. So it failed, gave it a failing grade. I could basically see.
Wait, what site was that on?
IMDb.
Oh, okay.
The budget for the movie was $70 million. That's pretty, $70 million. You figure Bautista probably took up a couple million out of that.
What's interesting with that, though, the difference with Netflix is you're not spending another $50 million technically on marketing.
Yeah, totally.
Like, it's kind of different, right? Yeah. Yeah, no, all in all, there's a lot of good stuff. Would definitely if someone's just looking for something to not have to overthink and you like, that kind of genre and shit, like absolute recommend. Like I definitely think it's I did find what they obviously didn't include. What was it? Who was the guy? I always got those two actors, not on Peter Berg. Who was the guy that passed away? He was in Titanic. Who's that actor? Anyways, he's in
Billy
Alien,
Zane?
and he's like, no, he's like, hey Vasquez, have you ever been mistaken for a man?
Bill
I just feel
Paxton?
like that. Yes, I just feel like that type of line was not like, included with today's kind of PC kind of culture. Yeah, Vasquez and Paxton from Aliens always said, obviously, game over, man. Game over. Why don't you send her in there then, dude?
Yeah.
But yeah. Army of the Dead's fun. Not a lot having, you're not gonna, not like Tenet. Like Tenet was fun too, but man, we'll talk about Tenet sooner or later. Tenet, you had to like kind of take fucking notes. Army of the Dead, you don't. So it's just your big kind of blow 'em up zombie stuff, some good stuff, and wide open. Oh, by the way, so they're starting a sequel.
Yep.
No, a prequel.
Prequel. Oh no, yeah. They're
About the bank robbery.
They're doing a prequel, and they're also doing an animated series based off this.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, just off this one movie. They've already been greenlit for. I think they've already started production on the prequel. I think it's already. I think it's already happening. So when you were saying that you're not a big zombie buff, I'm the total opposite. I love zombie movies. Like I always have since a kid. I've got the zombie survival guide. I go into buildings thinking that this building would be great hold up place if the zombie apocalypse starts. So like, I'm just waiting for that to happen because I'm convinced that there's just some fucked up scientists out there.
It already started.
Yeah, it did start. Yeah, just walk around LA streets and San Diego streets.
Yeah,
that we have the meth zombies everywhere.
So
But
send me the addresses of some of these holdups in case I need them in the next few years.
Bob's house. Bob's house.
Perfect.
I can't tell anybody out there why, but Bob, we have a buddy named Bob, and we're going to his house.
Let's just say he probably has a kill shelter deep in his basement. There's probably a kill room.
Yeah, he's been prepping for a very long time. So
very like when you first heard about prepping, Bob had been prepping for a few decades.
yeah, 100%. So no, but I love zombie movies. I exactly what you say. A lot of times the zombie movies back in the day had corollaries and just like subplots about communism and stuff like that they would make those about. Everybody was the same. Everybody was a drone. I remember watching Night of the Living Dead as a kid, all the different zombie movies from the 80s. I'm the one who I'll go online and watch all the absolute cheesy ass zombie movies that people come up with, and just to see them. So it's like a little.
You want to know what my probably stupid issue with the whole thing is? Mm-hmm. Is because for one, they're movies, so this should be taken out of the credit. But I struggle with the physics of a zombie, right? Like for the most part. Now I will say this, probably this, and like I said, World War Z, and why we didn't get. I thought we were getting a second World War Z, which I'd be totally up for. And like even Zombieland, was Zombieland the Woody Harrelson?
Yep. And Bill Murray, and then
So like honestly, like that even and I love Woody Harrelson and Emma Stone. It had quickly risen high on my super cool actor list. What always bugged me in the late 80s and early 90s when I was kind of seeing that shit or whatever was the physics. Like what didn't render was like, all right, well, why don't you just chop their head off or like their legs off or their arms off, and they move so slow and like that kind of stuff. Like it just bothered me. But when I do think about it, it's not like Arnold or Stallone were ever in the zombie movie where they just be taking them apart, right? Like so like that kind of like. And then the other thing, and even World War Z, this kind of like it. One of the few things I would pick on about that is the instant turn. like the instant turn.
7-second turn, 8-second turn, like the virus moving super. That's the same thing in 28 days later, and 28 weeks later.
Is I Am Legend zombie? Is that
Yes.
zombie? See,
Yeah,
that bugged me. That movie bothered me.
that was I Am Legend. Was they had thought they had come up with the cure for cancer, and they started injecting mass amounts of the population, kind of very similar to things happening nowadays. And then something happened, and it was something like 9 months later, after people had been injected, they started turning into those creatures, and that's what I Am Legend was. And Will Smith got trapped on Manhattan.
But
So,
they got freaky fucking strong. Like
yeah,
freaky
no,
strong.
it was because it was a genetic. It was based on genetics. So they thought that killing cancer, that they could just alter the genetics of people, and it had these just really adverse side effects in that movie, and that's how it went down. I like stories like that are semi-believable. The whole thing with zombies of dead rising from the grave and a skeleton walking down the street, no, not so much.
Mhm.
But some asshole trying to figure out how he can make like a super form of rabies, and like they were doing and experimenting on animals in 28 days later, and then the lab animal gets out and attacks the worker, and then that gets loose, kind of like something going on today. And I don't know if you remember this, but I think it was probably about 6 years ago when bath salts hit the scene.
Yeah, dude.
And
Never understood it.
I remember being in my house one day and I saw breaking news that some guy was buck naked on a freeway overpass in Florida, eating the face off of a person, of an officer, or like a homeless man, and the cops had to shoot him 7 times. Now, in the initial reporting of this, when it says man shot 7 times eating the face of a person off, and they couldn't stop him, I was like, dude, I thought it was on, bro. I'm watching these
quietly. You were like, yes, finally.
Yes. Oh, I was like ready, man. I was ready with swords. I was ready with food. Like I was like, now's my time to shine. Like, here we go.
Hey, you know what I have to say though, and obviously it's a much more magical, mystical world, so it's not necessarily the same thing. But what I bought, now let's say we had never, like, Game of Thrones wasn't a thing, right? But there was a movie where some crazy fucking like evil fucking demon called the Night King showed up and started pulling corpses up and giving them power, then I'm in. Like, for some reason, I can buy that. So in a weird way, like that's a fantastic zombie scenario, even though it's in a much different Game of Thrones world. So yeah, I mean, like the ebb and flow, it is there. I guess actually I might have enlightened myself. I think there was a couple more. Maybe I don't quite dislike it as much as I thought I did, but maybe it's certain things that I've seen recently are finally turning that corner for me.
There's so many different types of zombie movies. There's the slow zombies, there's the fast zombies, there's the cheesy ones, there's the hokey ones, like, and yeah, I'm with you. This one, I liked it. Now,
Yeah.
as a movie, a 6 out of 10.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
100%. I give that rating as a movie itself. Yeah. If we're going to a scale of 10. As a zombie movie, if I was only rating it in zombie movies, 8 out of 10.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, World War Z, I would put it as a 9 out of 10.
No, I feel you on that, because I would also potentially say this. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if like high school kids and like college kids right now. I don't know, because they get so much more like shit to watch than people that might have been in high school in the mid 90s, late 90s, like us or whatever.
Yep.
So I feel like this back then would have been potentially a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Right. Because we don't, like, when you're like 18, 19, 20, you don't care as much about storyline and like, well, where's the characters going to go? Like if someone has a cool line and chops a head off, or prime example, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Like, right.
Yeah.
Like
Die Hard. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I agree with both I'm in on both of your ratings. I think they're both fair. I think we were very fair in this one.
That's what we try to be, man. We're not trying to blow smoke up your ass out there, even though this show, we did talk about assholes a lot. But that's okay, because we were talking about assholes with a very gorgeous woman, very beautiful woman. So
she definitely initiated and prolonged the anal asshole talk.
Okay.
So.
Which I'm always down for. I'm
Sure.
always down for that talk too.
Sure.
Well, that was it for Army of the Dead, guys. Go check it out on Netflix. And what do you think? Some Bad Batch, Star Wars Bad Batch?
Yeah, I'll be brief. I'll let you take over. I'm struggling with this this Bad Batch show. And this episode, I was expecting a little bit more from Omega. Like I was kind of all right, let's bust out. Let's because I kind of want to feel like, okay, show me why I should be watching the animated Star Wars shit. And this did not do it. And I gotta say, I definitely not checked out, but was super high. And 20-30 minutes somewhere in there. Like I'm not sure exactly how far I got before I didn't get to the end.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
sorry.
No, I feel you. I definitely am a little strained with the show at this point.
I did like certain aspects though about like I thought it was interesting. You'll fill me in more, but I felt like that there's the chain code. Like they were saying, like you have to kind of like almost get like rations or like felt a little Yahtzee game-ish.
Oh yeah, well that's the formation of the Empire and the Stormtroopers.
Okay, that's kind of cool. That was kind of cool.
So Star Wars The Bad Batch, guys, episode number 4. Now remember that we only have 16 episodes, and this is it. This is just a 1-season run. 16. So, and these are only like 25-minute episodes. So basically I'll start with a recap. So we start again with Omega and the Bad Batch, and once again, they need to land on the planet. They need to get somewhere. They need to do repairs, which is becoming super redundant. They get down on the planet, and we find out that a bounty hunter is hunting them and kind of coming after them. So it turns out that where they land on the planet, the bounty hunter has some spies, and we learn that now there's the bounty hunter is tracking Omega, and it's starting to get out around the galaxy, which is extremely similar to the Mandalorian and the bounty hunters going after Grogu.
Yeah.
So I'll get to that in a second. I'll get to that in a minute. I'll finish with this recap. So basically, they're working on the ship, and then Hunter and Omega decide they're going to go out into the town, start gathering supplies, foraging, stuff like that. And then that's where, of course, Omega gets separated from Hunter again. And then the bounty hunter, who was played by Ming-Na, who plays Fennec Shand. We all know Fennec Shand. She was introduced as a character in The Mandalorian. She teamed up with Boba Fett. So now we're getting to see Fennec Shand probably about a decade earlier in her bounty hunting days. And she is coming after Omega to try to kidnap her, but she's smart. She's like, I'm not going to kidnap this kid. I'm just going to lure her away with some candy. But Hunter automatically picks up on that. A battle ensues, and then there becomes this huge high-speed chase all through this planet. They set off security. They set off the police, and basically it becomes, but they just need to go there, stay undercover, and just repair the ship and get some supplies. Now they've alerted the entire city, and everybody's after them, and they got to get the fuck out. Now my thoughts on this. We are starving for Star Wars content, and I'm down to give things a try. But it seems to me like if you're going to do a brand new show, you have to make this different than the last show that you just put out there. And there is just so many similarities between this show and The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
It's like almost a carbon copy. And it's like, dude, like you can't do that in storytelling. We literally just finished The Mandalorian, and you're giving us this brand new show that has the same exact storyline as The Mandalorian. Now, like with you, I agree. If you're going to introduce a kid to this, I know it's an animated series. They say it's for kids, but it's really for adults.
Yeah.
But if you're going to introduce this kid, she hasn't done anything.
Nothing.
We don't know anything about her. We're now 4 episodes in. There's only 16 episodes total. Like, move the fucking story along. Did we need this episode? No, because it's the exact same carbon copy as the episode number 3. Something happens with the ship. They need to land. They need to fix it. Shit goes wrong. There's a chase. Omega gets separated. We don't learn anything. And
to your Mandalorian point, like, and I get it for the Mandalorian, but dude, enough with the ship needs parts in any Star Wars. Why is everything dude, like, it's constant now. Ship needs parts. It's like fucking A, dude. Like, god damn it, it's a spaceship. Anyway, that's just a small little rant. Like, I'm not, like, as I've said before, I like Star Wars. I like certain aspects I do love, but I'm not fully immersed. But what I'm starting to notice through the Mandalorian, through this, like, okay, dude, like, enough with we'll just have them. The ship needs parts, and that's why they'll stop on this fucking planet. Like, come on, dude. And by the way, you can stay on the same fucking planet for 3 episodes if you feel like it.
Yeah.
Go to different parts of the planet.
Yeah, 100%. Go meet new characters.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it'd be like no, I'm not gonna sound like, obviously, I mean, I'm still gonna try it again. Actually, what I think I'm gonna do this week, I'm gonna try and start from the beginning, and like certain areas, like where I know it's kind of dull, I'm gonna move through. But first of all, also, I get it, the kid, like, whatever, but you're kind of right. Like, for all we know, Grogu, like, they're telling us, they're calling him Baby Yoda. For all we know, the dude might be 1,000,000 years old or something. I don't know. I'm assuming he's not. But I'm kind of getting I'm a little all set with the kid or the child, like, is the savior or whatever. Like, I don't know. I just feel like that is becoming is the key. The kid or the child is the key to everything, kind of thing. And
yeah.
You just did this. You just did the same exact thing.
Yeah. And now we're doing it with a little girl. Dude.
Yeah.
Dude, like, honestly, I don't care if it's a boy or a fucking girl. Like, and I'll be honest, like, I just don't really need kids in shit that I watch. Like, I don't care. Like, it's not that like, the other thing is, problems with it is, I mean, I guess it's probably good that she's animated, but if years pass, like, if you're there doing live action, like, this is probably what they ran in with Anakin, right? Like, I mean, the kids are going to grow up. Like, either keep the same person, or you run into that disaster with, dude, this is so bad. I don't even remember that actor's name, and I know every fucking actor. What was his name? The older one?
Hayden Christensen.
Oh yeah, and that poor dude. Like Star Wars kind of ruined his life more than Mark Hamill's.
Yeah, he got typecast. He never got casted in anything after that.
No.
So, well, that's exactly why. That's exactly why all the actors and actresses from the sequel trilogy have walked away from Star Wars. They don't want to have anything to do with it. Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, because they know that Star Wars can kill you. Yes, it can make you an iconic legend and make you a fortune, but then that's it. You're typecast as that kind of actor or actress for the rest of your career.
Yeah.
And those were all, they're all heavily trained. They've all done very successful films, and they just don't want to get stuck. That was the big thing that, that really pissed off Alec Guinness, was that nobody knew who Alec Guinness was except for being Obi-Wan Kenobi. And you're talking about a guy who had a 60-year career in theater and acting. Same thing with Harrison Ford, why he absolutely hated Star Wars.
Well, and I want to update. When I said ruined Mark Hamill's career, that's not the correct way to say it. Aspects probably of his life, because Mark Hamill is probably 100% fine. He probably loves his life. Yes, some of the Star Wars stuff is overwhelming, but I just didn't like the way I phrased that. And Harrison. Yeah, I mean, Harrison's kind of a tough one too, though, because at the same time, like, talk about just, I mean, you get to be Indy and Han. Yeah. I mean, goddamn, like, if you had only been 2 roles,
and Jack Ryan from Tom Clancy movies,
I'll give you that one. Yeah, I'll give you that one too.
I mean, he did how many movies with that? 3 movies, something like that. So
yeah. And I mean, for what the books were, I mean, people adored those books at the time. I feel like you're right, and I feel like there might even be another one, or I just think Indy. I'll put it this way: like, I always thought, like, Indiana, when I was a kid, to me, like, Indiana Jones was way cooler.
Yep.
But then when I started learning, like, but the Star Wars world was trumped that, because obviously it was intergalactic. And I do have to say this: the most interesting thing to me, and John, I can't remember, you and I might have talked about this. The most interesting thing to me about the entire Star Wars. This is why I think it's so big. If anybody wants my fucking opinion on that, sorry, and I've been getting a little loose with the F-bombs here. I'm not sure why, but he figured out something that I don't even know if it was on purpose, but the first Star Wars we ever saw, when the first thing you read is in a long time ago, not the future. Not the future, right? Like if you talk to some random person who wasn't a Star Wars video, like, oh yeah, the spaceships, they must be in, they'd probably automatically think it was in the future. A long time ago in a galaxy far away. Dude, like right there, everything flies, right? Like, and I don't mean ships, I mean like every scenario, because it's almost like what Game of Thrones did. There's no earthly connection. And right, and they do look like humans or whatever you want to call them. That's fine, but I think in that too. And why I'm saying this is because to your point, that why they're repeating shit makes no sense, because you can literally do anything, and most of us are going to be fine with it and buy into it. Like, where is the real like new like Yoda and Chewie? Like, I don't feel like we've gotten a new character that we all could absorb like that. And there could be another group like the Jedi. I'm not saying that they're Jedi Knights or whatever, but there could be some other, mystical group. Like, I don't know. I agree with what you're saying, and that's my point. Like when Lucas said that, those sentences in a long time ago in a galaxy far away, you just got everyone and their mother on board without being like, oh, that wouldn't happen. Oh, you can't do that because blah blah blah. Like, no. Everything's in play, and I guess maybe I've actually set my own expectations higher for what. Like, I think when the newer Star Wars came out, I wasn't as critical because I was just happy to see lightsabers in fucking shit, like that, in stormtroopers. Like, oh, this is fun. But yeah, the more I kind of think about it and why people are super irritated is because this thing has only thrived for 4 decades because of what the fans have put into it.
Yep.
So they do deserve more. And if your plan is to be like, fuck, like Time Warner, like, you ever get the package, right? Like, you've been a Time Warner, and I'm using Time Warner because it's not a real company anymore, but everyone knows what I'm saying. And you've been there for 10 years. So, okay, great. 10 years ago, you got HBO for 3 months, but then it was like people were getting like HBO for 6 months, and like their bill was in half. And you're like, well, hey, dude, I've been with you for 10 years. So kind of stick it up your ass if you're like, well, we want to bring in this new audience. It's like, dude, you don't know if your new audience is going to stay with you. Your new audience might not shell out the money that the base has brought you. So, and I'm not like this. Like, as somebody who's working on a writing, directing career in Hollywood, like, my I can have very different views. Some people would be very surprised sometimes that I would potentially side with studios and things and why things are done. But in this case, like, now I'm fully getting it, man. Like, It is that base deserves a lot more. I'll stop rambling.
No, I totally agree. And this is the big thing, that the civil war that's happening within the Star Wars community, that a lot of the deep lore, the nerds, the people who have supported Star Wars for 40 friggin' years, we're just saying, it's like, look, dude, you have unlimited money, and this is the crap that you're giving us. And then when we say we don't like it, you just attack us and call us is. You're a racist, you're sexist, you're this, you're that. Because, it's like, no, dude, you're just writing shitty stories, bro. And of all companies, we're supposed to be dealing with the Disney Imagineers. But like I said, we've said this in previous episodes, we're dealing with a lot of just woke millennials and just people who I just don't think just have any kind of, they don't know the history of these characters. They don't know the lore. There probably there's people just writing these things they're not even really into these shows. They're just there writing,
You're right. And it's like, I'm just going to use this one as a quick off the cuff. So, like, I can't remember her name, but like there was a Batwoman or a Batgirl that had recently been cast. And her first thing that she said was, it's great to be like an LGBTQ woman of color for this character. And it's like, dude, you mean the character that somebody created in comics years and years and years ago has not, oh, wow, it's a privilege to play this character.
Which Rosario Dawson did with Ahsoka Tano.
Yeah.
That's a perfect distinction. Right.
And why are we bringing a person who is going to be an actor, your sexuality and stuff into that? Like, I just don't think it's needed. And I think honestly, because like if we want to talk about people who care, but also like we know have had success in Hollywood, like I'm assuming Kevin Smith has been borderline like blacklisted and like people don't want him to get near Star Wars for whatever reason. Maybe they don't think he's a good enough director or writer or whatever. But I know this about Kevin Smith, and I'm sure you do too. That dude fucking gives a shit. And I just feel like I don't know if he's involved with much of the Star Wars or have ever had an opportunity, but I feel like even a dude like that allowed to spitball. I'm not even saying he has to be an executive producer or the writer of the movie, but just spitballing with people about new ways and characters and how to open up. Because the other thing, I mean, hey, what if there's another dimension far off in the galaxy where like a whole new, like the Star Wars worlds could have to band together almost like a la Game of Thrones and fight like a Night King threat. I mean, it just seems like
there's so much that they can do, Bri. There's so much. I mean, this entire episode, they could have just skipped the whole landing on the. I mean, they could have needed to infiltrate the planet, find out information about where to go next. And I mean, there's so many different storylines that they could have run off of, but no, they ran off of we're run low on supplies and we don't have parts for the ship, which they've done now 3 times in a row or 2 times in a row. So I think it's at that point now where it's like, dude, you either need to move this storyline. This next episode needs to be something big and dramatic, or you're going to start losing a ton of people off this show, because you can't, if you only have 16 episodes and they're only a half hour a piece, you need to move this forward. So yeah, I feel your pain, dude, but I'm going to watch it full through and give my input. I mean, I love Star Wars. I've loved Star Wars since I was a kid. So I'm going to watch this stuff unless it's just absolute beyond trash, woke garbage to begin with. And I know it going in where I'm not even going to bother. But, I want to know, like I said in previous episodes, I want to know about this time period in the formation of the empire and how the totalitarian state did come about in this world and what they did.
Well, and dude, in an honest thought process right here, I actually think there could be room for wokeness in the galaxy far, far away. If you just think about how to do it, to not move the old out and move this in its place. Bring all we over here is bring them together, bring people together. First of all, let me just be fucking clear. We're going on however many years on planet Earth. We don't get along, people. Like we don't. Like, so stop trying to fucking force it. Like we don't, we're not going to, and we don't have enough time. People act like we live for thousands of years. We don't. Like, you can't ask people to spend their entire lives trying to make your life better because something that happened 500 years ago. Like, I'm sorry, it sucks. But in general, like, we don't even get along. So to try and start forcing it in movies, it's not even authentic or honest, in my opinion. I mean, there can be, like, you can have, like, as a white or a black person, you can have a great relationship, a great friendship. You guys can see eye to eye on a lot of things. But if you want to take huge groups of people, within those huge groups of people, they're going to have problems. For everybody who's wondering, there's a ton of white people who hate other fucking white people and think those white people ruin it for everybody. People say the same thing about every group. But I think in this galaxy, like, I actually think you could bring this quote unquote woke. And again, like, this is where I didn't even know what woke was until COVID. Like, I'm still not really sure if I do. I know people want it to be a thing. Great. I'm not trying to,
it's just a tactic of Marxist ideology. It's just separating. It's acting morally superior and virtue signaling, so that you can feel that you're above other people, so that you have leverage then to cancel them.
But it doesn't feel to be in reality. From my understanding, like, all this stuff takes place online.
It's all Twitter.
Yeah, the stupidest fucking thing ever created.
Yeah,
Twitter.
It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit.
Yeah, because we talked about this, right? Like, well, everyone should get a voice. No, dude. Unfortunately, we all don't get a voice. You know what we do? We nominate people who have a wonderful voice and aspect. They earn a voice. You fucking earn it. You don't deserve anything. Nobody does. You earn things.
The one thing that really, and it's interesting because I told you that I just recently did that portrait shoot with Nerd Erotic. And how was that? That was great. And we sat there and we talked about a lot of this stuff. And I was talking with his wife. His wife is fantastic, by the way. Like, she is just a shining star. She is absolutely amazing. She runs a lot of the back scenes behind his YouTube channel, and she helped style the whole shoot with me. It was so much fun working with her. But her and I were talking about this, and she was coming from their family was coming from San Francisco, and she's like, look, we're very, liberal people and stuff like that. And now they're calling my husband online, like all these names and Yahtzee and all this crap. And, I was just trying to say to her, I was like, it's just really interesting to me that people who are into science fiction, like we are, people that have been into Star Wars, into Star Trek, into all this stuff since we were children, are some of the most accepting people in the world, because we're waiting for the aliens to come down. We watch stories all the time. I mean, if you watch Star Trek and you grew up watching Star Trek, having different species all across and all these different cultures, that's the norm.
Yeah.
Like skin color is just not, like, you don't even think about that at the point, because you're dealing with storylines and literature basically, where it's like, yes, this person's humanoid, this person must be a mound of goo, and they've got their culture. I mean, this is what science fiction has always done. Everybody thinks it's all about the lasers and the pistols. Science fiction stories have always had some sort of undercurrent of deep human topics and cultural topics of the day. It was Star Trek. It was Captain Kirk who kissed Lieutenant Uhura. And was like the first white man kissing a black woman on television.
Right.
So like science fiction has always been on the forefront of that stuff.
You're right. And, a quote that I love from a movie, and I'm not sure if it's just from the movie. There's a side of me that thinks it might have been from some piece of literature somewhere else, but original Men in Black or second Men in Black, I can't remember which one. Tommy Lee Jones, I think the first one, Tommy Lee Jones is sitting down with Will Smith. And Will Smith says something like, why don't we tell everybody? And Tommy's like, well, we can't do that. You know how people would react. And Will Smith's like, people would understand. And Tommy Lee Jones is like, no, a person could understand. A person is smart. A person can listen. A person can exchange ideas with another person. People as a group, right? Like, that's where the trouble comes. We've seen it in
scared, ignorant. Yeah.
Mass together and start raising pitchforks. And I mean, we've seen it. We've seen it in it's just an odd way. I just find that because again, I'm not online anything. So like I literally didn't know what some of these things were until COVID, because I was stuck inside, spending more time online. Like,
because you're living your life.
Yeah. Like, and I just feel like it is a very strange scenario. All that, and the way that they bring, or what their thoughts are, like what Kennedy and her thoughts on just whatever.
Oh yeah, I mean, we'll have to get into that next week, because there's some big things that are happening over at Disney Lucasfilm, changes, and she may be out the door pretty soon, which would be great. So,
and for her, she'll land on her feet. Like, honestly, she'll land on her feet, no fucking problem. She should actually, if she wants to do right, it's been a great ride, everybody. I hope you can find some things I did do. I hope you can learn to enjoy them. Thank you. I'll see you later.
Yeah, and then she leaves Lucasfilm and then turns over Star Wars to somebody else. And whoever that may be, hopefully they do.
Netflix or Amazon would hand her like a 5-picture executive producer deal tomorrow. She'd be fine, right? Like,
the rumor mill is that her retirement package is going to be allowing her to handle the Indiana Jones series, because that's like her main, that she loves Indiana Jones, because she worked.
Whoa, no, I'm not good with that at all.
Well, I know, but that's, her and Spielberg worked on a whole Indiana Jones series. So there's a lot of things going on in the rumor mill of Hollywood, because they can't just fire her. And I sent you the links from Cameron Prasha's. They can't fire somebody at that stature. They just have to make it seem like she's retiring into the sunset. But she's run the company.
It's funny though. They can just hand a person with literally, there was nothing on her resume that could have clearly said she should be in charge of Lucasfilm. But yet they gave her the job.
Yeah, because it's just politics. It's just
nuts, dude.
No, it's nothing. I mean, it's just, she has you were a producer for some movies. You weren't the sole producer. And then you were, it was a bad move by George Lucas. He's the one that trusted her.
Yeah.
He turned Lucasfilm over to her. So all in all, that was George Lucas's decision. And I don't, George Lucas is a human being. He makes mistakes. He did give us Star Wars and he did give us this universe, but he's made some really bad choices, and that's just the way it goes. We had to deal with it. And Disney has run the Star Wars lore and just has run this entire thing into the ground.
Hey, just real quick too, I was watching a little Nerd Erotic today, and I'm pretty sure he is not a fan of Bad Batch from a couple things he said.
No. Yeah, Gary is definitely not a fan of it. I don't think he's going to watch it. He's so over Star Wars and all the crap that they've pulled in the last 10 years since Disney's owned it. And dude, realistically, you should not be a fan of something where the production company and the staff are attacking the fans.
Right. Yeah.
Because they're putting out shitty content. You don't attack your clients. You don't attack, your purchasers, your subscribers, the people who've kept you alive for 40 years. So, but I think we've covered the Bad Batch, and we're coming up at 2 hours. So that was, that was a fun episode tonight. I had a lot of fun. We were joined by the lovely Crystal Taylor. She gave us our time, so I was really stoked on that. Army of the Dead review and Star Wars: The Bad Batch was really cool. Any final thoughts there, Brian?
No. Well, really fun show. Really fun. Crystal was really engaging, which is always fun. I really liked what we got going today. I have a random. Oh no, I'll ask you later though. It's not necessarily pertaining because we got to get out of here.
So, guys, make sure our guest today was Crystal Taylor. Make sure to go follow her online. It's Crystal Taylor Unfiltered on Instagram. I have it up on the screen right now. Please go like her, check her out. And please make sure you're subscribed to our channel and you like and comment on the video. If you guys want to help out, you could go check out Bikini Girl Magazine, which is my side project I do with all the models that I shoot. If you want to see some beautiful model content. And then make sure to go check out Bikini Girl Magazine on YouTube. We'd love to get the subscribe numbers up on that. And besides that, man, that was a pretty fun show. And you know where you could find us every single Wednesday afternoon from 5 to 7 p.m. here on Retouch This. And I am going to run the closing credits if that's it.
If you don't find us here, we're at your mom's house.
Checking out her asshole. That's what we're doing. Thanks for checking out this video, everyone. Did you know that for the price of a 6-pack of beer, that you can get Bikini Girl Magazine each month? That's right. You get the digital magazine downloadable to your phone or your desktop, as well as all the smoking hot, uncensored content from the shoots that I can't show on social media. Go to bikinigirlmagazine.com and sign up as a monthly patron. Or you can purchase individual issues via MagForest platform. Your support helps me continue to do all of these sexy shoots for you. The social media censors absolutely hate all of this content of beautiful women, so help spread the word to all your friends. Please make sure to like, comment, or share this video with some friends and click that subscribe button. Also, go follow Bikini Girl Magazine on our second YouTube channel and across social media to keep up with the latest hot babes.